What is up, YouTube? So I thought I would do a video, and this is not a tutorial. This is more or less just an update video. As my kids playing in the yard, but an update video on the tires and wheels that I got for the truck going by. The tires and wheels that I got for the Chevy K1500 Silverado, whatever you want to call it. But these are the GMC Sierra wheels, I believe, or the Snowflake wheels, or some variant thereof. But here is after the second coat of paint. It's a coating rather that I picked up. It's the Duplicolor High Performance Wheel Coating. Restores or restyles, long-lasting finish, fast drying, easy to apply. And I would have to agree, this has got to be some of the most easiest applying paint, coating, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever done. But you have to do your prep work. So depending on what light you are in, I can notice too that it has a different color to it. But you have to do your preparatory work, right? So you have to make sure that your wheels are sanded down, they're cleaned very well, that they all of the high spots have been removed. You know, all of the blemishes, imperfections that may exist on the wheel prior to, you want to try to remove as much as possible. Now, these particular wheels are chrome. That was the original color. And if you look inside of the wheel, you can see in there where it's flaked away. Now, granted, there wasn't chrome on the inside. It's probably just some other type of coating, and I'll probably reapply something to the inside of the wheel later on. But you can see how these GM factory wheels, they peel. And this is, if you're watching my video, which we know you're not, you guys need to do a lot better job at your wheels, because it's almost a work hazard. Because if a person was changing their wheel, or let's say for instance a DIYer or someone at home was changing the wheels in their car or their truck, at least here in the Midwest, and the wheels suffered from that corrosion due to salt and everything else, they could really cut their hands. Because I'll show you guys how thick that chrome coating is. I think I have some pieces laying around here that I can show you. So this is kind of like my workstation. I'm working inside or outside because I don't want to be breathing in, guys, for a second. I don't want to be breathing in the dust, but you guys can see there on the ground all of the dust and all of the chrome. And here's a piece of the chrome from the inner portion of the wheel, but that's thick and that's really sharp. And if you were changing your wheels, or you grabbed your wheel, or you were doing any type, even if you were cleaning your wheels, you don't have to be changing or taking the wheel off the vehicle. If you were just simply cleaning the inside and reached your hand into that wheel, you could cut yourself pretty seriously, and that'd be a lawsuit for GM. So I don't know if there's been a recall on these wheels or if there should be a recall, but everybody I know complains about bubbling chrome and peeling chrome. And maybe not in the West Coast or the Southeast corridor of the United States, but here in the Midwest, where we have types of salt and other types of brine that we use to keep our roads clear in the winter, it attacks that chrome and that aluminum, because these are aluminum wheels. It attacks the chrome and it gets underneath there and it peels, and then you have bubbling chrome. And that is really, really dangerous. So hopefully, I don't know if anyone's ever done a video on it, but you know, here's a video for you guys. You know, tag GM in it. I'll try to tag them in it. They're probably not gonna do anything about it, but maybe there's already something out there. I don't even know. But I've taken the process, I've gone through the process here, and I'll walk you guys through real quick what I've done. So the very first thing that we do is we clean the inside of the wheel, and I'm using a wire brush. There's hazards with using this brush because these bristles tend to break off, and you need to have your proper PPE, you know, glasses, gloves, etc. when handling one of these things. And they come in various powers, and some of them you can adjust the speed, but this is a Harbor Freight one, and you can't do anything to it but pray to God that you can hold on to it, and you don't take a piece of metal to the eye. The other tool that I use is my Milwaukee 18-volt drill, and it's got a snap-on or Blue Point bristle brush in there that seems to work better than that brush, but I use that to get down into here. So we do like that, and that cleans all of that loose debris in there. You got to clean all of these holes. You got to clean every one of them, the lug holes. You got to clean them out. Same thing here. We pop the center cap out and we clean in there, and so on and so forth. Then once you've got that done, my methodology, it doesn't have to be your methodology. Hey Luke, do me a favor, close that door. My methodology is using a knife, and I go through and I carve off or scrape off all of the loose chrome. Everywhere I see bits of chrome or something like a high spot, as you can see there, let's see if I can get you closer. I'll take my knife, sorry, didn't have you in frame, and I will scrape it off to get down to, here's a good example. Let's see here. See, I'll scrape that off and get down to the bare metal. And then I'll come back with like a Dremel, and I have a whole case of tools over here, different bits, and sanding pads, round sanding pads or disc or whatever, and I use these flat disc here, and I got various grits, and I'll come in here and I'll polish that off. A good example of that is you can see here where I'm starting to take this down and clean these edges up that are really bad. Depending on the coat color that you're going with, how dark it is, if you mess up or you grind too deeply, it's probably gonna show. So that is something to think about when you're doing this. You want to be very fine and very finesse when you're going through doing it, because you don't want to grind off too much or leave too much, because it will be apparent on the wheel when you paint it. Okay. So then you get all your different tools. Then what you're gonna do is take, and this one here is still in process here, but you're gonna get yourself like 110, 120 grit, and in some cases maybe a little bit more coarser, but I typically stay around that range. And I go through and I sand the entire wheel, because you want to scuff up the chrome so that you have something for the adhesion promoter to bite into. Okay, so that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna scrape it, you're gonna sand everything down, clean it all up, etc. And I've got all types of primers over here. This is a self-etching primer. I'll tell you when you use that. You have your towels, your adhesion promoter. You get various types of adhesion promoter you can use. There's even some by, I think the company's called like Max or whatever, M-A-X-X. I've got sanding disc, sanding blocks, fiber cloth or microfiber towels, various sanding cloth blocks, and you can go to Dollar Tree or local Dollar General or whatever you may call it in your neck of the woods and get a lot of these supplies for cheap. It doesn't take a lot of money to do this, but it does take time and focus. All right, and that's how you get that done. And you're just going to go through and clean up every little blemish, every little imperfection on your wheel, you know, based upon, this beads over here, based upon what level of workmanship you want to do. If you don't really care that much and you're like, hell, I'm just going to knock off as much as I can and paint it, then do that. I don't care. But if you're like me and you want it to look nice when you're done, you need to follow those steps. And if you guys want me to do a better video or a more in-depth tutorial on that, I will do that. But you guys got to leave it in the comment section. Hopefully that comes out, because I didn't realize that. I forgot to put the plastic down. We got plastic down on that one, but I didn't put it on that one. But these turned, but anyway, yeah, if you want me to do a tutorial, let me know. I can do that. And then once you've got these painted and they've dried, then you're going to come back and do a clear coat over the entire wheel. And I'm going to do probably 2 coats of clear on this before I'm said and done. And it's going to be your 2K clear, your hardener clear, where you're going to have to push the little red button underneath the can to activate the hardener component of it. And you're going to spray that over the tire wheel, let it dry for about 10 minutes, and then come back and do it again. So 2 coats. You don't, oh, so the first, when you get your wheel cleaned up, so then you're going to do your adhesion promoter. I did 2 coats of adhesion promoter, and then I did a coat of the 2 coats of etching primer. Okay, and you don't want to do too much primer, because you got to imagine the substrate or the base material is the hard substrate, right? It's the hardest. When you put a layer of primer on, you're creating a soft layer that your final product is going to go on. So the more layers of primer you do, the softer each layer becomes, because it's not as hard as the original substrate. So you don't want to go caking on a bunch of primer, because it can lead to failure. It's just never going to be as hard as the substrate. So when you're doing that, 2 coats of adhesion promoter, 2 coats of primer, followed by your 2 coats of paint, and your 2 coats of 2K clear coat, and that should be enough, right? You don't want to cake on too much stuff, but that is the process, right? That's how you do it. Some people use sealer. I didn't use a sealer. I know there are some videos out there where people are using sealers. I didn't see the need to do that, based upon other jobs that I've painted. And all of this is being done from a rattle can. This is not being done from a professional HVLP gun or anything like that. This is all a rattle can job that anyone can do it at home. Tape off your tire. Make sure you get all your edges nice and tight and nice and clean. Take your time. Preparatory work is the key. If you rush it, it's going to look like a rush job, and it's not going to turn out very nicely. So, but if you guys want me to do an actual tutorial on how to do this, let me know. I'm going to be doing, my brother's got some pretty nice wheels. I've already started sending him pictures of how this is coming out, so he's already gassed up, ready to go. So I know we're going to be doing another set of wheels, and that'd be a perfect opportunity to show you guys. My wheels weren't as bad as his, so his wheels are going to be a little bit more difficult to do, because there's more definition to the wheel in terms of how it's made and designed. Whereas I get a lot of big surfaces, a lot of surface area that I can cover relatively easy. So, but I want to get back to work, guys. I thought I'd do a quick video. I don't even know how I'm going to title this video, but please share it. Share. Make sure that you guys are following me on Instagram at Midwest_tool_review. Make sure you liking this video, leaving comments. Guys, give me some support. There's a lot of work going on my channel to get this the Chevy K1500 rebuilt. More content is coming. I wanted to get these wheels done as a motivating factor to keep everything moving along. So we're gonna power down the wheels, get this all done. Then we're gonna get the truck over to the house, because it's still not at my house, it's at my brother-in-law's house. We're gonna get that brought over this weekend. We're gonna deep clean the interior. We're gonna pull out the seat in the front. We're possibly gonna replace the seat in the back. We're gonna install controls for the air conditioning and heater. We are going to not install the mirrors, although I did want to install them, but I have to replace the doors. So there's no point in going through that process without having my doors yet. So also going to be visiting the salvage yard this weekend. I'm going to take you guys along. I already have one video created from my last visit at the salvage yard. My wife, also my editor, is going to edit that video. It'll be the first video from my channel that's been edited. So that's going to be awesome as well. So make sure that you guys watch and support that to see how that comes out. But yeah, lots of stuff going on. This is a huge project for me. And I would love nothing more than to have you guys' support. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get back at it. I got work to do. I've got 2 more wheels that I would like to get primed at least tonight, and then paint it tomorrow. So I'm going to be out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.